My mom and dad, my mom was from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. My father's from Niagara Falls, New York. It's like walking across the strip. There was a river, and they met at a dance. They were dating. They were in love. The war breaks out December 7th, 1941. My dad gets drafted, goes to my mom and said, Angie, I'm going off to war. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm breaking up. I don't want to go away. I don't want to worry about you. And maybe 1 year, 10 years, I don't know. But this is over. She's heartbroken. She calls my Aunt Mary, her sister. Sis, Lou broke up. I'm heartbroken. Uncle Al, her dad, had rheumatic fever. So back then, the place was dry desert. That was the script from the doctor. They moved to Arizona. They didn't like it. They come to Las Vegas. Now, in 1942, my mom, 1943, my mother comes out here to see her sister, heartbroken. And they decide they're going to go out dancing after she got adjusted to, I don't know, 10-day train drive, whatever it was. However, and when she walks into the dance in Las Vegas downtown on Fremont Street, the first person she sees is my dad. What are you doing here?
Stationed down here, right?
He was stationed at what was then called McCarran Airfield, not Nellis. It was called McCarran at the time. They're both stunned. And it was immediately this synergy, the two of them, and he went off to the Pacific Theater to Guam, but she waited and they got married and they came back. And that's how they got back together, was really because of her sister and Uncle Al. She was about 3 years old. So subsequent to that, they get married. I'm born. My father had a crap game, plus a sightseeing business in Niagara Falls. And this is really a true story. There was a new sheriff in town, a police captain, and the other one really liked my dad. He goes, listen, I'm just telling you, this new guy's not me. You're going to have to close the crap game down. And my father says, I can't make money just doing the sightseeing. We're going to go to Las Vegas. It was legal gambling. So they moved out to Las Vegas. One day, my dad and Uncle Al came home, and I was there. And they said, well, we rented a restaurant today. What? What do you mean you rented a restaurant? You know, Angie, everybody loves your cooking. Mary, everybody loves your cooking. And the two guys, I think it was like you and Steve Lawrence, Dennis, they must have rehearsed it. You know, and they're giving all the accolades to my mom's cooking and baking and Aunt Mary's cooking. And they, what do you mean? Well, you're going to come down tomorrow. We all went down. And within a week, Lorraine and myself were painting down on 1980 East Fremont Street, and they opened this restaurant. But the funny thing was, 1955, and they went to the business license, and they said, well, what's the name of your business? And my mom and Aunt Mary were from Venice, so they were going to call it the Venetian Pizzeria. The guy said, what's a pizzeria? It was the first.
Didn't know what a pizza was, yeah.
It was the first pizzeria in Las Vegas. And Aunt Mary and Uncle, my mom, and they're all getting a license. Yeah, and they open up this tiny little restaurant. Lorraine's there. I'm making boxes and pans and grating cheese, and we're doing everything. The restaurant opens, and it didn't take, not weeks. There were lines at the door to get in. But when they went to get the sign, and I brought some information to show you this, they didn't have the money to put the Venetian. You see, that was the sign, the Venetian Pizzeria. But the pizzeria was lit in red letters because they didn't have money to light the Venetian. So at night, all it said was pizzeria, so it became known as the pizzeria. And the Venetian was there. My father hated it. He didn't know the first thing about food or cooking. But the restaurant became such an enormous success, and the reputation and the people that would come in there. I was just turned 14. I was working really, really hard. This was a lot of life lessons I had from Uncle Al and Aunt Mary and my mom and dad, but this one still sticks with me. At 14, I went in. It was a very hot day, and this was a tiny little place. So I went in there on a Friday night before the restaurant opened, and John Kirk was the chef. And I see them all drinking beer before the restaurant opened. So I fired the chef.
At 14.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
A lot of guts.
My mom calls my dad. My dad comes down. And the way he handled it was so smooth.
He was always an executive. Yeah.
My dad was so smooth. He walks in and he goes, I got to talk to you. So we went outside because you couldn't talk in the place. I mean, the place wasn't as big as this room. He said, did you fire the chef? I said, Dad, they were all drinking before this shift. I knew they were going to get drunk. He said, well, first of all, you never fire a chef on Friday. You wait till Monday. You need him for the weekend. You got to hire him back. Then I knew I could fire him on Friday. So we sit down at the table like a two-top. John, my dad, and me. He says, John, Larry wants to talk to you. I said, John, I overreact. Whatever I said. I was 14. Whatever I said. I'm really sorry, Dad. Or John. But I got to hire you back and accept my apology. My dad said, you guys friends? Yeah. Shake hands. Shake hands. Says, John, I'm just promoting you to general manager, and your first job is to fire my son.
There's the handshake.
Lessons learned.
The handshake.
And that was a major turning point.
Lorraine said when she moved here, there was how many people?
6,000. I'll go a little bit back before Larry and Angie and Lou moved in with us on New York Street. We all and opened the pizzeria. My mom and dad came out in 1943, as Larry said, from my dad, who had rheumatic fever and needed a dry climate. And the doctor said Arizona or Nevada. And he said, where in Nevada? I said, Las Vegas. And they swear to God, the story I've told is they said, well, let's go to Las Vegas because that sounds more Italian. So lo and behold, they throw everything into that big car they had, that old Chrysler, and me in the back seat with little Aunt Madeline, who was 14. Las Vegas in the 40s was a small, dusty western town, and it developed into this magnificent mecca today of global entertainment and, of course, gaming and food, and I mean everything that we have here today. In retrospect,
It doesn't seem like
No,
it yet. But when you think back now, it's 40-some years, yeah.
so what
I caught the end of an era.
They had such people skills. They genuinely loved people, liked people, and I think that really made the. It was in their DNA, and it's hereditary.
You can't teach that in college when these kids come out and they got a degree in business or hospitality. It's not. They don't quite understand. This was a town based upon hospitality. It's making people feel at home, making them feel comfortable. It's not. It wasn't about numbers. It was about making people feel so comfortable they couldn't wait to come back. Every great relationship in my life was based upon a handshake. It wasn't based upon a contract. And I'm in the entertainment business, but all the great things that have ever happened in my life, you could throw all the contracts out the window, but all the good things that happened were based upon a handshake. A handshake meant one thing, but if they looked you in the eye, that was like the handshake was being notarized. You know what? Does that make sense? The handshake is one thing, and that's wonderful. But when they looked you in the eye and said it, and you said, I just had my handshake notarized. And that meant it was etched in stone.